Welcome back to Jay Sekulow Live. This is Jordan Sekulow, and we've got a very special guest joining us right now on the broadcast. Speaker of the Arizona House of Representatives, Andy Tobin, is joining us now. He's also running for Congress in Arizona's 1st Congressional District. And Speaker Tobin, it's great to have you today.
Hey, thanks for having me. How are you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing good. A lot always going on in Washington, D.C., but I know there's a lot going on in Arizona as well, and a campaign that is starting to get a lot of attention, especially from those notable on the conservative side as well as those on the left. And I want to tell people about a big endorsement you got just recently and have you talk about that from former Governor Mitt Romney and former Republican presidential candidate, one of the few primary endorsements he's made this year.
Yeah, well, I'm very lucky. I got to know Governor Romney and his family years ago. This was before he got started in his last campaign, and it's just an honor for me to have been able to spend time with him. I campaigned here, here in Arizona for him, and would have traveled the country if he asked me to. It's just an incredible opportunity, I think, for America. Here's a guy when you talk about, hey, we have an economy problem, we have a job problem. Not a guy who wants to have government create them, but a guy who wants to make the economy work at the level of the private sector, where most of those jobs come in. And I listened to him. I got to introduce him all over the country. Him and his lovely wife, and I met some of the kids. And it's with him and me. It was about here's a guy that's going to bring respect to the White House and bring America back, and show our enemies abroad that hey, we've got somebody strong here, and for him to have turned around and endorsed me is just huge for me and my family, and I'm forever indebted. It was just it was an incredible opportunity for me to get to know him, and now to have him involved in my campaign was just I couldn't have asked for more. So. Thrilled.
Folks, again, we're talking to Speaker of the Arizona House of Representatives and congressional candidate running in Arizona's 1st Congressional District, Speaker of the House, Andy Tobin. It's andytobin.com, Tobin. And I want to talk to you as well about being Speaker and how that's kind of informed your race. Running now for Congress and this jump in a tight congressional district. You can talk to people about that. It's one where there's an incumbent Democrat. It's a very close district, and already getting attention as well from Nancy Pelosi's PAC, who's mentioned you by name in an ad. So obviously seen as this will be, in a sense, one of those local races that for our national audience isn't really a national race because it impacts, of course, the makeup of Congress.
It is a national race, and I'll tell you, I know this is a Democrat district, but these are good and decent rural people. They work very hard. They're not being well represented. They know me. I'm in my 4th year as Speaker, my 8th year at the House. I'm done. Arizona has term limits, which, by the way, I think is a great idea. So, and I know my opponent really doesn't like it, but I would just have to say to you that my district doesn't think it's a good idea to tell veterans that we're going to their memorials are going to be closed. My district do not think it's a good idea that it's okay to vote against CRs that would reopen the Grand Canyon, huge economic driver for our state. Sure. This district doesn't think that that's okay. And I will tell you, in all my travels, what I'm hearing from this district is I'm hearing mothers and grandmothers telling me, I want my children to be able to have a job in this town if they want to, the town they grew up in. And I don't think that, while I think because of this president, that's a very tall order, I will share with you that I think that it's achievable if you have somebody who's willing to go out there and fight for them. And we just do not have that here. We have an EPA who's crushing our Navajo generating station, which is the water source to the Valley of the Sun, which means those are Navajo jobs, Navajo people on the Navajo reservation. You know where they get their power from, Jordan? They get it from the Cayente mine. It's a coal mine 50 miles away. They're Navajo jobs on the Navajo Nation. These are things that that Nancy Pelosi and this president, along with my opponent, continue to ask for help and are turned away time and time again. I've traveled this district. I know who these people are. I know that they're looking for help. Arizona, after our last governor, we ended up almost in bankruptcy. I mean, we had times that we were, months away at best for not being able to make payroll in this state. Well, about 3 months ago, Forbes magazine said that we're the number one state in the country for job growth over the next decade. That's a pretty big turnaround. And you had to make some tough choices. And Jordan, you know what we did here. We cut government by almost a fourth. No state has done that. Yet at the same time, we were able to then put in incentives to invite businesses and keep our businesses here and keep the ones here who sustained us healthy and growing. So we cut taxes. Imagine that. And our revenue went back up.
And this I wanted to get back to, because this is all coming from your experience getting this done, and to keep reminding people that you're not just talking about what was done in Arizona, but that you were Speaker of the House of Representatives while this was being done.
Yeah, I was lucky. It was a tough road, but I mean, I was at the table. I mean, I was there making this be a part of a great Arizona recovery, and I had a lot of help. No one person can do this. Just like in Washington, no one person can do this. We're not going to fix 25 years of, admittedly, Republicans and Democrats putting us into debt. We're not going to fix that overnight. I've never told anyone in this district how to fix it overnight, and we couldn't fix Arizona overnight. But you know what? 6 years later, I can tell you Arizona's getting better, and we're getting better faster. And there's a lot of things that are now going on here, and people now moving here who are saying, hey, this is a place I want to raise my children. In this congressional district, being a rural district that it is, they're even additionally harmed. National health care, this Obamacare system, is driving physicians away from our rural communities. They can't afford to do business. Our seniors are at risk because of the cuts they've made to the reimbursement rates on Medicaid. It's harder to do business in rural communities when you have transportation issues and distance issues. So here we are. What did we really need in this economy when this president started? We needed somebody who cared and wasn't going to take more money out of it and put it in Washington. And that's exactly what they did. So I now have a rural district who is desperate to make sure we don't lose our physicians anymore, desperate to make sure that we can have those jobs locally. And we've done those things in Arizona, despite the fact that the government, the federal government, continues to put their foot on our throat, whether it be hurting us at the border where we have this drug trafficking come through, this human smuggling coming through. We don't have a friend in the White House who's trying to stand there for us and recognizing that these are big issues at the border. So, I mean, I think Ann has had her shot. She was in Congress once before, and she lost. And then the Democrats took over our redistricting process, and she improved her district opportunities. Well, she's going to lose again because these people know what Arizona needs and what rural Arizona needs, and it's somebody who cares. And that's not what she's doing to our veterans. It's not what she's doing to our seniors. And certainly national health care, this Obamacare, is truly hurting especially rural America.
Folks, the website is andytobin.com. That's Andy, it's TOBIN.com. The race is heating up. As you can tell, this is a well-qualified candidate. Got the endorsement of Governor Romney, former Republican presidential candidate, is the Speaker of the House in Arizona, understands these issues, and also a strong supporter of Israel, is working hard in what is becoming a very national and heated race as the midterm elections heat up around the country. And Speaker Tobin, it was great to have you today, and we'd love to get more updates from you in the future.
Well, thank you, and God bless America, and thank you so much for the time this morning.
Thank you, Speaker Tobin, and folks, we'll talk to you next time.